Hi, this is Liz.
And this is Kim.
Thanks for joining us for episode 17 of Keep Up with Liz and Kim.
Hey, Liz, did you end up checking out the solar eclipse on Monday?
You know, I did. I didn't have glasses, so I obviously couldn't stare up at the sun and see it. But you could definitely feel that, weird, cloudy dusk feeling.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would get just a smidge darker.
Yeah.
Even though I knew we weren't going to have totality here, I thought it would get just a little bit darker. But it was just the energy of everyone being excited about it. I was here working at the library that day and went downstairs, and there was a whole group of us out front, and we were sharing glasses, and it was just fun. There was so much camaraderie, and people were playing, fun songs that talked about eclipses.
Yeah.
And even the news that day, just everyone had something in common to talk about, and it was something positive. And that was fun.
It was, yeah. I listened to, obviously, a lot of other podcasts, and they were talking about in New York, it was very cool to see everybody come out of their offices and look up at the sky, which never happens in New York. So that was very cool.
I did love all the photos I was seeing of people staring up at the sky with their glasses on. I honestly, I probably spent more time on my Instagram that day just scrolling through because all of those photos just made me smile.
Yeah, it was funny. People made some good jokes too. It was funny.
Most definitely.
All right, it is patio season in Ada. Every restaurant in Ada has a patio, and we are super excited for this season. It is one of our favorites. We have a lot of meetings outside. So come join us, jump on a patio, and somebody has a new patio.
Yes, that is Mirth. If you've been driving through or walking through the village this week, you'll see the green railing out there. They're getting their seating set up. And I'll have to say, I have eaten on every outdoor patio at one of our Ada restaurants. I love being able to eat outside. When we go on vacation, we always try to get outdoor seating, and I just like being outside, seeing people walk by, having the fresh air, and it'll be really exciting to try out Mirth's new patio.
It will, most definitely. We were just at Schnitz the other day.
Upstairs,
you know how they have the second floor patio? Yeah, great, love it. We are super excited to have Kate Chase here with us. She is our local community police officer. Besides working in Ada, Kate is a longtime Ada resident who grew up in the area and loves everything about growing up in the village. Learn more about her, her family, and what she does coming up next. All right, we always joke we start with the hardest question, which is tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm the community policing officer for the East Precinct. So that is Grand Rapids Township, Cascade, and Ada. I grew up in Grand Rapids Township, Forest Hills, a stone's throw away from here. And I live in Ada now. I'm very happy to live here.
Tell us how close you live to here.
My response time to downtown Ada is 90 seconds from my house.
Which is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, a hair under 90 seconds, actually.
So is that running, driving?
Driving.
Okay.
Yes. I'll have to time that this summer. I love the village. I feel so grateful to work and live here. It has changed a lot, so being able to witness that from being a youngster to now is amazing. I have 3 daughters, 3 rescue dogs. My house is crazy. It's bustling. It's fun. It keeps life exciting.
Yeah. Well, and two, you're always down in the village.
I am.
Even when you're not on duty, you're always down in the village. So, yeah.
It's been fun in this role having community members recognize me outside of the uniform, which is a huge benefit both to me and our department because they're recognizing, we're not just robots behind the badge. We're real people. We have families. We have hobbies. I think that's been really a key point for me. I love to walk. I have said it to multiple different people. I've said it during events, and you're going to see me now. And they do, and they engage. So it's nice for them to recognize that I have, a deep investment. I have a deep love for the community. And I'm not just saying that, right? Because this is my job.
Yeah.
Right. No, I think it's important for people to see that you are a person outside of your role.
Yes.
Yeah, and that you are somebody that has a family and you're supporting events and you're not always in your uniform. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes you more approachable as well.
And that is definitely my goal. I bring my family to the events. I introduce them to people. I want my child to see. Obviously, she's proud of mom, right?
Yeah.
But,
Right.
you know, the community recognizes, okay, we are family-oriented.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you've talked about this a little bit, but what do you like the most about working in Ada?
The family feel, that deep sense of community. I joke about Chief Murray obviously having his own Sunday at Scoopers, but we're unique. We have these long-standing relationships, and people know one another in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels small and tight-knit when it comes to that sense of community, but we are growing day by day. And it has been so fun to see that.
Yeah, and it's even fun. Like, we went out, we had a meeting, and we went to Mudpenny, and just talking about, oh my gosh, we're like, we know so much more about each other
Yes.
than we thought, and then how close we are to other people in our lives, and it was very cool. No,
It's a very
great.
connected community. I try
It
not
is.
to use that word too much, but you walk down the street, people smile, you have conversations, you get to know individuals and learn more about them, and you remember their dogs' names, or, you know, it's just, and there's a really good feeling about that. It's like, you know, whenever we used to talk about the TV show Cheers, where everyone knows your name. I mean, there is really something wonderful about that.
Well, and even as we like grow and change, I think everybody is growing and changing together.
Yes.
Which is super nice because I think it makes us grow closer to each other as well.
Yes.
Which is great. What have been some of the biggest challenges? We've talked about like the growing and changing environment of Ada. So what have been some of your guys' biggest challenges in this world, in Ada Village?
We're lucky that we have obviously a ton of support from the community, but with the growing pains, there's a number of factors that we kind of experience. Obviously, traffic. An increase in traffic causes safety issues. We've been super fortunate. We've not seen a lot of significant accidents. You know, Ada Drive and Headley, what we would consider the major intersection of the
Yes.
now downtown area.
Yeah.
Can we call it a village still? It's like downtown.
I mean, we call it a village.
We call it a
so-
village.
All right.
It feels more homey as a village.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
I find myself calling it downtown Ada a lot. And for folks out of town, like for my wedding, for example, my best friends from high school all live out of state. And I kept saying downtown Ada, and they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you have to drive by. I'm going to say nothing else. Just drive by. You'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll understand. But the traffic issues, the amount of people that we now have coming to the events is such a great thing, because obviously we want to share this community with people outside of Ada. It shouldn't just be all of us walking the 10 minutes or driving the 90 seconds down to community events. You know, it's so inviting for those of us that have family coming into the area, friends, but with huge masses of people. My mindset, obviously, being in the first responder community, is safety. So lots to consider.
Yeah.
So what would be some of your top tips for public safety, just in general?
Yeah. Situational awareness is something that I always am focused on when it comes to providing trainings. Just a general awareness of your surroundings, where you're going, where you're headed, and planning ahead. So if you're going to an event in the village, if you're going to an event, having a plan and discussing that plan with your family or those that you're attending with. You know, hey, if there's a thunderstorm, we're going to do this. If this happens, I feel like, you know, in law enforcement, we tend to catastrophize. That's just part of our job. We have to think of the worst case scenario and have plans for everything thereafter. But that is also helpful for the average citizen.
Right.
Oh yeah, even just like a lost child. Like
Yes.
if you guys run away and we can't find you, find a spot to meet. Like pick Ada Village General Store or pick the Swings or something like that.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
if you're lost, go to that spot and we'll come find you. I
Yeah.
know my mom used to do that all the time. And
Yep.
The schoolhouse is our like reunification place
There you
for
go.
our
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And I have a toddler, and we have seen lost children. That's
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not uncommon. So for parents with younger children, making sure that those kiddos know what mom and dad's names are
Yes.
outside of mama and dada. 'Cause
Right.
That's not helpful.
Oh, right.
And last name.
Yep.
Like having them know their last name.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Liz and I, event planning, we want to bring the fun, we want to involve the businesses, but we really appreciate the fact that yourself, Chief Murray, are willing to work with us to work on plans for these big events as they're growing. I mean, we've seen, sometimes we need more lighting, we need to talk about traffic flow and all these things. And it's really helpful to meet with you and to talk through these plans so that we can put on successful events and then they are fun for the community going forward.
Yes, it's been exciting to have the process be collaborative, right? So it works for everyone, so everyone has an understanding of it.
Obviously, with the growing village and more businesses coming in and new faces coming in, there is such a need for knowing what to do if something were to happen. Because before, when it was just a strip mall, you didn't have these events. You didn't have thousands of people coming down to the village, and now we do. So now, as a team, like you said, collaboratively working together to figure out the safety for all of our events moving forward. So we talked about you coming into Ada Village, and you love to walk with your family and all that kind of stuff. But if you were to pick the perfect Saturday in Ada Village, what would it be?
Every day is or every Saturday is perfect. So what I love, and we joked about it earlier, but I love the fact that Ada is so walkable. I often find myself not driving at all during the weekend because everything that we need, whether it's coffee, breakfast, materials for our ongoing house projects, all of that we can get at walking distance, which is fabulous. So most, you've seen me out walking. People have recognized me out and about pushing the stroller. That's a hassle now that my daughter's getting older. I also love to eat. So it's the walkability,
Yes.
but it's the great restaurants that we have within walking distance. So a perfect Saturday for me would be getting a walk in with my family, getting a coffee. We like to, and it's not even like intentional, but we like to do like a progressive meal a lot of times.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like we've not plotted this out. We just end up doing it. We grab coffee, maybe at Nona, maybe at Mud Penny. Yep. My husband is quite the coffee snob.
Oh.
We feel very strongly about our coffee in law enforcement, right? It's kind of a constant, it's in our bloodstream. So sometimes we have like a little debate about where the coffee is really the best.
So you guys are on opposite ends of where the best coffee is?
As of recently, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He really loves Mud Penny's lattes.
Okay.
I'm like a minimalist when it comes to coffee. I don't want to poke fun at him too much, but he likes fancy coffee, as I would call it. Just a plain good dark roast for me.
Okay. So where do you go? Where do you get your best dark roast? Nona's Pantry?
Yeah.
Nona's Pantry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now we have Foxtail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're coming in soon.
Be checking that
we
out.
will have some options. Yes. Yep. Cup of coffee, Legacy Park, watching my kiddo play on the playground. It's fun to watch as they age and they engage in the playground different ways, and they're looking at the whole park setting in a different way.
Yeah.
Breakfast, and then the real like heart and soul for me would be the spicy salsa flight at Luna.
Oh, love the salsa flight. Yeah.
Oh.
There is something about that spicy salsa.
Yeah.
I really don't even like spicy foods.
Really?
But in place of coffee, I could carry that around in my Yeti, and that would be.
Really?
Oh my gosh!
I have not had it, so I guess I need to try it.
It's good. And their chips are good, too.
Their chips are
Yes,
so good.
the yes.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a pretty darn good Saturday to me.
It does. It does. We usually don't ask this one, but I am going to put you on the spot. What is your favorite event in Ada?
Drum roll.
I love tinsels, treats, and trolleys.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is.
I I grew up here. I spent a lot of time in Ada when it was very different, when it was the strip mall, when nothing like this existed. And I moved away from the community, not far, but not within the immediate area. And when my husband and I first started dating, that was our first like event together with the family. Fun. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just great. And it was smaller then, but to see it grow and the trolleys increase in number and have you just see that joy on everyone's face.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Hallmark movie needs to be filmed at that point.
It does.
I have been plugging for that.
All right. Anybody who's listening, does anybody know anybody in the Hallmark world? Because we need them in Ada Village.
Yes.
Yeah, when the trees are lit and
Oh yeah. There really is something special about it. And I don't know if it's the season or everybody coming together as a community. It's special. It really is special.
Yeah, it has a great energy.
It does.
It does. So, what would be the best way for someone to connect with you, the Sheriff's Department, to learn more about the programming you may be doing here in Ada?
So, yes, my work cell phone number, I'm very comfortable giving it out. 616-430-7811. Feel free to call or text me.
Well, sorry, I'm going to interrupt real fast. If you're a business owner too, like put that in your phone.
Right.
Because this is a great way, if anything were to happen, to get a hold of you.
Yes. Yeah, and even I've had conversations with the staff at Beyond regarding like suspicious individuals in the store, and it's hard, right? Because I know that people are reluctant to call us, and they tend to minimize what they think that they're observing. I am happy to verify, like, yes, let's get law enforcement involved, regardless of what's playing out. I'm happy to even just have that initial discussion. If something occurred that's minor, and they don't want to have to call road patrol, that's what I'm for. That is what my role is all about. So I'm happy to help in that way. I do trainings for the community, active shooter trainings we put on pretty regularly. So I'm always excited to be able to provide that information. And then I would say, I've said it multiple times, I'm out and about quite a bit. I'll be on my bike in the warmer months. And I do a lot of my work here at the library. So if you see me, please feel free to come have a conversation. We could go have coffee. We could have a friendly debate about who has the best roast.
Well, thank you so much. This was awesome. We always love working with you, of course. So we had to have you on our podcast so we could share you with the rest of Ada.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. All right. I say this every time we talk to someone. I have loved every one of our guests, and Kate did not disappoint. She was a lot of fun to talk to. I think it's incredible that she actually grew up in this area, and she has so much passion for Ada Village.
She does, and I just love the passion, but like physically being here all the time. I mean, if you guys see a patrol officer walking around, it's probably her, or driving around, it's probably her. She is wonderful. We are super thankful to have her as part of our team.
Yes, and being so present. As I've talked about a lot, I do work out of the library quite often. Kate and I will cross paths here. I'll see her sitting in her cruiser around town. I always look when I see a Kent County Sheriff's cruiser, because I'm like, is it Kate or is it Omar? Do I know who's inside? And with summer coming up, she loves being able to bike around when she's on duty. So you'll see her zipping around on her bike as well.
I mean, she's so local focused. She just gave you guys her phone number. So,
exactly.
That is Kate to a T. All right, should we jump into the Fast Five?
Let's do it.
All right. Discover Ada Night at the Rise. So the Grand Rapids Rise volleyball team, we are having a night through Discover Ada on May 4th. So grab discounted tickets through the link on our Facebook event. This is a great night to come out, support the Rise, and just support and celebrate Ada in Grand Rapids.
All right. I love volleyball, so we're really hoping to attend that night. Awesome. It should be a lot of fun. So our ABA member, Ethos Day Spa, is hosting an event in collaboration with Broadway Grand Rapids on Thursday, April 18th. Broadway Grand Rapids is celebrating their 35th anniversary, and this is one of the events that they have planned. And we're super excited that they're doing this here with an ABA member. They're going to have live music, demos, petite services, appetizers, and drinks. And you can find more information about this on the Ethos Facebook page or on their website.
All right, and then up next, Plumfield Books is doing a release day party for the book Funny Story. There's limited signed copies, so make sure that you save the date on April 23rd from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Definitely come grab your copy. There's going to be prizes, giveaways, tote bags, stickers, bookmarks, wine pairing, tasting. Definitely an event that you want to attend.
Had me at wine pairing. All right. I absolutely love when ABA members collaborate to do good in our community. On May 5th, Once Upon a Room, who is a nonprofit based out of Ada, will be hosting a Cinco de Mayo foaling tournament at Foaling Warehouse to raise funds to support their incredible mission. If you are not familiar with Once Upon a Room, they identify kids who are getting lawn care treatment at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital or Mary Free Bed, and they go in and decorate their rooms for them. It's really quite magical.
It really is, and if you look at the pictures, you can see the smile on the kid's face, and it's worth every penny, ounce, anything. It is amazing what they do.
Yes.
All right, up next we've got Women's Night. Women's Night is April 25th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have so many activities happening. It is definitely something that you guys need to attend. We're going to be planting flowers and decorating pots at Gravel Bottom. Discounts, there's going to be coffee flights, dessert flights. I mean, this is an event you don't want to miss.
All right. If you want to keep up with what is happening in Ada, learn more about the businesses, and participate in our upcoming events, follow Discover Ada and the ABA on social media and subscribe to this podcast.
All right. As always, thanks for listening. I'll try to keep up.